Hi, I'm Michael Johnson, and this is my literary narrative. Ever since I was very young, I can't ever recall one specific time that we read together as a family, other than in church. So I was never really brought up to read on my own. I didn't read anything other than the required material for school or church ever. Well, not ever, but for a very long time at least. I was around 14 years old before I read something just because it grabbed my interest. I read the Bible, the King James Version, or as I like to say, the hardest version and most completely confusing. It has so many different uses of the words that, of course, as a beginning reader, I wasn't used to. I had to literally ask for help, always, for the actual meaning of what was written. That was the first time that I would say I was interested in reading. I finished the Bible cover to cover in under a month. There was a big sense of accomplishment when I did this. My family was very proud of me and what I had done, but no one was motivated to read. It really wasn't like I was trying to get them to read with me, but I thought that if I did this, they would also. As soon as I began to become interested, the feeling faded. There wasn't anything I wanted to read just for fun. I got into skateboarding soon after I turned 16. Now, most typical skateboarders aren't known for being straight-A students. They also are the polar opposite to a typical jock. So what does one do when they're a straight-A student, as well as a jock and a skater? They read. Or at least reading is a way to not be able to be stereotyped as anything typical. I was first into anything skateboarding, and then I was curious about my favorite skateboarders' bios, like how they got there, and what did they do to stay there. It restarted my reading adventure again. Now I say adventure due to the simple fact that you never know what you're actually going to learn when you read. But my adventures once again faded to black. It wasn't until I joined the Army that reading for anything other than another boring reading assignment, I was curious for the method we as combat engineers use to defuse bombs overseas. I started reading into the improvised explosive devices, or IEDs for short. That was all it took for me to be hooked once again, and luckily it has finally stayed. Now I won't lie to you and tell you I read everything on a shelf or even have a library card, because I don't. I don't have much patience for reading, so I'm pretty sporadic when I do read. As we all know, patience is a virtue, and more importantly, one I do not have. So what do I read? I read magazines. Skateboarder, surfing, and Esquire are my favorites. I generally read where a man can read and be left alone, the loop. I know it may sound weird or just plain gross to some, but to me it's one of the few places still holy and untouched by nagging, the honeydews, or everyday stress. I go in and read a few pages or a short story, and then it's back to reality. The honeydew list is ever present and ongoing struggle. The nagging really isn't nagging, I just tend to embellish more than I should, but it's fun to do occasionally. Everyday stress is part of the reason why I go to read the latest skateboarding accomplishment or the best tip on how to choose the right clothes to look more distinguished. In general, I've learned by myself to do something most take as boring and turn it into sort of a stress reliever. Now I have to go to the loo and read my latest issue of Esquire, just arrived. I'll tell you how it is when I finish.